So honestly, a lot of people were asking me if, you know, people ever thought I was gay growing up. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, like everyone has those moments where, you know, people think you're gay or you're, you know, different in some kind of way. I don't know, knowing there's like a million different types of genders in this world nowadays, like I'm not surprised if, you know, a girl came up to me and thought I was gay. Like it just makes sense, you know, people are just doing that naturally now. Like no one's assuming like what you like or what gender you are anymore, since, you know, I guess, you know, people are learning how to work with new things in a way. And I mean, I respect it. As I always say, you know, be what you want to be. You know, it's like my quote for today, I guess. But this story kind of goes crazy for what's happening, so let's get straight into this. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So, like I said in the beginning, yes, people do, you know, say a lot of weird things about me. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not gonna lie, one time, it was one of the most weirdest scenarios I think I've ever been in. And I'm not saying that because the guy was gay, but I'm not gonna lie, like, people are very odd in this kind of world. And I don't know, if a person ever tells you that they have like a gaydar or a gay radar or whatever that thing you guys say that most gay people or people that know the LGBTQ community well enough say, that's totally cap. There's no such thing as a gaydar. Like, what? But anyways, guys, so this starts off, like I said, back actually, this was like, I want to say almost last year. I was 19 years old of drinking age. If you guys don't know, in Canada, it's legal to drink at 19. Okay, 100% legal. So for all you guys people in the comments saying like, oh my goodness, this guy drank when he was only 19. This guy's literally illegal. Oh my goodness. No, in America, I can't drink because I'm only 20 right now. But if in Canada, you know, like you can drink whenever you really want when you're 19, and you could like, you know, buy like smokes and stuff at 19. You can do anything at 19 here. It's totally legal. But anyways, like I was saying, so I remember back in like, you know, basically 19 or last year, I should say, I was kind of hanging out with a group of friends, just hanging out, doing our own thing. And if you guys don't know, at 19, I did go to bars a lot with me and my friends. It's kind of like a common thing we all do, like, you know, once in a blue moon, or in reality, once a month. And don't get me wrong, I love going to the bar, you know, going there, sitting there, drinking, you know, talking to hot girls that are there that work there, and sometimes ignoring the chick that you already brought to the bar. I'm just kidding. I've never done that. Actually, no, I have. Never mind. That's a story for another time. But anyways, so like I was saying, I remember one time I went to the bar with me and my friends, and we were all hanging out, chilling, doing our own thing, and talking about life. And obviously, you know, I start drinking and we start having a good time. We start talking about school and stuff, even though I wasn't in school because I still wanted to pursue my YouTube career in a sense. Anyways, we were talking, we were just, you know, talking about life and stuff. And then I remember we had this really odd guy in like kind of the corner of the room, kind of just staring us down. Now, many of you guys are probably like, oh, it's probably the gay guy is gonna make fun of him in the way he like shows himself in his appearance. No, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie to you guys when I say this. Like when I was looking at this guy from like the corner of the room, he looked at me, I looked at him, because you know that feeling when you're getting stared at. Like everyone has that sense of feeling. And we looked at each other, we locked eyes, and then after that I was like, dude, this guy like either wants to really beat me up or he's like actually gonna like jump me or something. So I was actually like kind of terrified for like half of the night, worried about what was gonna go on with this guy. Like it didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But then I want to say like later on, like throughout the night, you know, I'm staying close to my friends, I'm making sure I'm safe, blah blah blah, as usually you should always do. By the way, if you're a young kid and you're going out with friends late at night and stuff, please be safe and please stick towards them. Like that's, you know, some Bubba safety here, okay? Like Bubba safety rules, Bubba boy. But no, seriously, like I remember we were just sticking together and stuff, and my friend started noticing that he kept staring me down. Now I don't know what it was with this guy. I wasn't wearing anything, you know, exposing in a way. Like I was wearing, you know, normal jeans that were ripped. I don't know if he's into knees maybe. And I was wearing my t-shirt. You know, I'm just looking casual. Like I don't look any way spicy. No, but going on, I remember as like, you know, my friend noticed, he walked up towards me and said, bro, did you do something to that guy in the back room there? He's like staring at you all night. Now, I've literally told him like, no, like I literally didn't do anything. I'm just sitting here doing my own thing, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, it's kind of weird how he's staring you down. And I agreed. It was so weird of him staring me down. I don't know if this is like a normal thing that most gay people do. I hope not. But they kind of just stare you down until they get like a sense. I don't know. Maybe that's what people mean when they're trying to pull their gaydar. Like it just, I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. Okay. Like as a straight male, like I don't, it doesn't make sense. So anyways, like I was saying, as we were just sitting there, you know, doing our own thing, you know, all this stuff, and me and my friend noticing that, you know, this guy was staring us down, it got to the point where like my friend, the more goofy one, wanted to basically go up to him and see what was going on and like why is he so upset and stuff, or why did he stare me down in a way. So I remember my friend was like, yo bro, like I'm gonna walk in there and check this out. So he like gets up, he goes towards the guy, and he literally says to him, yo, like you got like a problem with my friend, dude? Like what'd he do? And the guy ends up just handing him like something on a piece of napkin napkin and brings it back to me. And when he brought it back to me, he's like, oh, bro, he's just a gay guy. He's interested in you, bro. You're telling me this whole time when I thought I was gonna get jumped and die, he just wanted to literally just, I don't know, like look at me because he thinks I'm attractive. Like, I don't know. It was just a weird scenario. And in a sense, like I didn't feel uncomfortable. You know, I was like, okay, like he just thinks I'm attractive. Like, you know, like good for him. By the way, I should probably mention before anyone starts, like, you know, saying like, oh, this guy's making fun of a gay person. Oh my goodness. I'm not making fun of a gay person. It's just the way this gay person interacted with me was very, very odd. But I didn't even get to the point where he actually interacted with me yet. So let me give me a minute here, okay? I should probably explain how this guy actually looked, just so the story's more clear for you guys. That this guy like was like actually like bald, okay? He had like a full-on beard and like he kind of like had like eyeliner on, okay? So in a way, like I don't know. I thought he was like a really gothic rock star or something, but no, this guy like generally like this guy was generally gay. Like I mean that's what I got from it. Anyways, like I was saying though, I remember later on throughout the night, obviously we drank a lot. Me and the boys were drinking a good amount. You know, we're getting some, you know, juices flowing through our system as the per usual. And we started drinking even more and more to the point where, you know, we were pretty drunk. And I remember I, you know, had to go to the bathroom because that's what happens, you know, when you drink a lot, your fluids start to happen. You start, you know, going to the bathroom more than you should. And when I went to the bathroom, I noticed this guy was also in the bathroom and he started literally hitting on me. And by hitting on me, I mean, he was literally like, oh, like you're very cute. Like you are very, very sexy. Like, bro, like what he was telling me, literally, like, I did not want to hear it. So I remember telling him all drunk, like, was like, oh, like, thanks, man. Like, yeah, like, that's cool, dude. And he's like, are you like single? And I straight up was like, no, dude, like, I have a girlfriend. Sorry, dude. When I actually didn't at the time, I'm gonna be honest, I think I've been more single than actually taken my life, which makes sense in a way. Kind of sad from all the women I've interacted with in my life. You know what? Never mind. Anyways, like I was saying, so it was just a really awkward scenario. And I remember, like, I texted my friend when I went back into the stall after using the urinal, you know, pretending I have to go take a number 2. And I texted him saying like, yo, bro, like come to the bathroom. I do not feel comfortable like right now in this scenario. So he walked in all drunk. Like he's like, what's going on, guys? And he straight up saw the guy. He's like, oh, I'm just looking for my friend, bro. And then the guy, like the gay guy was like really confused with what was going on. And I guess he like kind of got excited because he started smiling when he saw both of us together. And me and him, we straight up just walked out of there. Me and my friend, we walked out of there like, you know, like pretending nothing actually ever happened. And yeah, that's basically it in a way. I don't know. It was kind of weird in a way. I guess, you know, borderline of the story is that there's no such thing as a gaydar, and there's no such thing as, you know, knowing if someone's gay or, you know, in any way a different gender and stuff like that. Like I said, be what you want to be, you know, like this is in no way making fun of any person that's gay or in any part of the LGBTQ community, because, you know, of course, you know, the world's opening up. We're learning new things daily. But, you know, at the same time, just don't make it so damn awkward to talk to you guys or for us to talk to them. I don't know. It's just weird. But anyways, guys, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see how you did in next embarrassing story. Peace. So many people won't believe me that I did this, but honestly, I'm already embarrassed enough. And the fact that I'm telling you guys this story is super embarrassing, but before I get into it, I just want to mention that I'm currently live on Kick, streaming right now to you guys, telling more crazy stories just like this one. So if you guys want to watch me live, just click the link down below in the description, kick.com/Bubba, and you guys will see me live hanging out and talking to you guys. But other than that, welcome to today's insane story, and let's just get straight into it. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another insane story. So as many of you guys may know, I am not gay. I'm 100% straight. I am straighter than probably your own dad, and that I only like women. Now, in no way am I homophobic. I want to mention that real quick before anyone on this channel just kind of gets like a weird vibe from me. I will say this, I'm not homophobic. I am straight up just super straight. And I know that was a meme a long time back that was really inappropriate, so probably that's not the best way to put it, so I apologize. But going on though, I remember back when I was in high school, one thing I realized is that the LGBTQ community was a really big deal in our high school. It was around the time when the movement was really big and that, you know, a lot of people were really coming out of the closet that year. And me, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of in questioning. It sounds weird because, you know, I always tell stories about me doing the devil's tango. But in my mind, I thought, hey, why don't I, like, you know, enjoy eggplants? You know, that's the thing about me. I really wanted to decide and really think through, hey, am I gay? So I remember one time I ended up going up to my buddy of mine that was a friend of mine, and I told him, yo, bro, I'm just wondering, have you ever thought maybe you were gay? Kind of seeing if, you know, maybe he thought the same way. I remember he looked at me and he's like, nah, dude, I'm straight, bro. Like, I have a girlfriend. Why in the world would I think I'm gay? And then I told him, like, have you ever thought about an eggplant going inside of you? He ended up looking at me really weird, and then he ended up telling me to basically, off. And yeah, it was super awkward, but I don't blame him. Going on from there, I remember one time I ended up seeing flyers around the school basically quoting that there's going to be an LGBTQ community meeting in our high school. And me, I decided that it would be cool if I maybe went and talked to other people that enjoy getting eggplant up their butts. So I remember basically what I ended up doing is I ended up basically walking up to the flyer, picking up the flyer and seeing what time it was. Funny enough, for some reason, every day after school, they met in the theater classroom. And me, I took theater back when I was in high school because I used to have a really bad stutter, but that's not the point. Going on, I remember basically I ended up going to the theater class, and when I did after school, I saw that there was a lot of people there. Surprisingly enough, I want to say almost like maybe like 20% of our school was gay, which was really cool because, you know, if I ended up being gay, I'd be part of the 20%. But going on, I remember I ended up walking up to them. I started meeting everyone. I started shaking people's hands and, you know, being nice to them. But then I remember I ended up meeting this guy named Ben. Now, Ben, he was actually a really cool looking dude. And in my mind, I don't know, I wasn't attracted to him, but at the same time, he was a cool dude. And maybe I thought this was one of those moments where, you know, like girls say, oh, it's like more personality. So I thought, hey, maybe his personality is cool enough to put his eggplant in me. So I remember I ended up starting to hang out with him. I basically walked around with him, chilled with him after school, and basically started to really get to know the guy. The guy was really cool, and I remember he ended up looking at me telling me, yo, so Bubba, when did you figure out you were gay? I ended up looking at myself and kind of like thinking, I don't even think I am. But I didn't want to say I was in questioning because obviously, you know, he was probably going to think I'm like some weirdo for hanging out with him and being like, you know, I guess somewhat flirtatious with him. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't understand how guys rizz up other guys. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I remember I ended up telling him, oh, like, you know, when I first saw my own eggplant is what I said. He looked at me super awkward afterwards and said, wait, so you never seen another guy's? And I ended up telling him no. And then I remember after that conversation, things got really awkward and we ended up basically, you know, going back to our own homes. I remember I was hopping on Xbox playing games and out of nowhere I ended up getting a Snapchat though. It was from Ben, and Ben was a really cool dude. And basically I remember what ended up happening was I ended up getting a photo from him of him literally being, well, his eggplant. He was literally holding it in a photo and sent it to me, and I was absolutely disgusted. I don't know why. I realized at that moment that I am probably more straight than the average male. And I remember basically I ended up texting him saying, yo bro, not gonna lie, that was really out of pocket. Because, you know, I wanted to say like, you know, who sends a person a eggplant photo out of nowhere? He ended up messaging me back saying, hey, like, do you ever want to like do the devil's tango? And then afterwards I ended up telling him no, because that was super weird and super out of nowhere. And then afterwards I basically realized that I am straight and I want to stay that way. I remember the next day though, I ended up going to school, and as I was walking to school, I remember out of nowhere there was a van that was parked outside my school. Now I didn't know what this van was, nor did I really care for it, but I remember as I was walking past it, out of nowhere the door opens and they grab me and they bring me into the van. It was these two guys wearing random masks. It was like a rainbow mask, and I was super confused. And when we were driving going somewhere, I remember one of the guys ended up taking off their mask, and it was Ben. Ben had a mask on and he kidnapped me. Like, what? In a van? I remember I started looking around, but the other guy wouldn't take off his mask, and the guy driving wouldn't take off his mask either. And basically, I remember I was in the back seat with Ben looking at him, and I was like, bro, why did you kidnap me? He ended up saying that he wanted to turn me gay, so he basically ended up telling me that I should basically give him a head. Yeah, YouTube, don't demonetize this video. Trust me, the story makes sense later on. I remember I started freaking out, telling him no and stuff like that. But then afterwards, he ended up basically saying, if I don't do it, I'll never see my family again. And at that point, I realized I had to do it. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, no way you did this. The story makes no sense. And trust me, I know. But I had to do it to see my family. My family comes first. So then I started doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, I went throw goat McGee. I was doing the Gluck Gluck 9000 on this guy named Ben. And then right where I thought things couldn't get worse, it did. Because I remember what ended up happening was I ended up basically looking at Ben saying, okay, I'm done, as I'm wiping my mouth. And he looks at me saying, Bubba, I never told you my full name, did I? I ended up looking at him telling him, what? And he ended up saying, my name is Bend Over. And then he ended up bending over. And at that point, I realized that this whole story was literally just for April Fools. And I just fooled all you guys, because if you guys really thought that I was going to give head to anyone, you are mind blown and you need special help. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories. Also, watch my kick stream. I'm live right now. Peace out, guys. Okay, so before this video starts, I know what the title looks like, and I probably have to clear up some things before anything goes on, and you guys go crazy in the comments saying, OMG, this guy's so homophobic. Like, why can't he say that to me? And I got a whole community on my butt cheeks. I want to say real quick that I respect every single one of you guys, and these stories are purely for your entertainment, and for me, it's just a way to grope and basically cry that I've had so many embarrassing things happen in my life. And the number one question I get for every single comment, I swear at this time and age, is, are the stories real? And like I say every single time, yes, the stories are real. They're not pulled out of Reddit. They're not pulled out of any historical website, and there's no way in hell am I using your guys' stories yet. The reason I say yet is because, yes, one day I will run out of stories, and I will run out of, being awesomeness with my eggplant. But, at the end of the day, as long as you guys get entertained and I get to tell my story about my life and how crazy it's been, then from there on out, we can continue. But for today's story is purely mine, and before anyone says anything, no, I am not homophobic. I honestly love every community, and, being what you want to be is very important for this day and age. Guys, it's 2022, okay? At the end of the day, I really don't care. But just remember that I'm not trying to get canceled. I think that's like the main thing that every YouTuber is scared of nowadays, and honestly, me being super terrified of everything, yeah, this is one of the cases. But going on, like I always say, thank you guys for all the support on these videos as well. Seriously, you guys have been insane. Join the Discord server down below, because if you guys do, I'm not joking when I say this, I get to talk to you guys, hang out with you guys, and also, like I always say, join the Twitch streams down below. But other than me promoting myself and being ultimately awesome, we're gonna get straight into the story. So what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So today's story, funny enough, starts back when I was in high school. So if you guys don't know, in my high school, we had an LGBTQ community. Now, honestly, I've never made a big deal about it or anything like that. Obviously, I had some stories from back then, but this was like later on, like I want to say grade 11, so it was already like a well-known thing. I wasn't really foreign to it, and like I don't know, I kind of just moved on from it per se. And by move on, I don't mean like, oh, I was homophobic, but now I'm not. No, it was more based on like I didn't really like get in the way of their things, because I don't know, back then I wasn't that good at talking to the LGBTQ community, if that makes sense. Like I don't know how to put it, but let's just say I didn't want to mistakenly say anything offensive, because let's be real here, I don't have the well enough known knowledge to talk to the LGBTQ community. I don't know, it's a long story, and honestly I could get into it and talk about it all week, but let's be real here, let's just continue on with the story. So I remember one time, I was just walking down my high school hallway, and I was just chilling, having my own good time, and I remember there was like a group of friends that I went up to and talked to, and they were talking about how a bunch of people from the school is going to a club. And at first I had no idea what they were talking about, because obviously high schools can't go into a club unless you're of age, but apparently it was well known that this club was having this bouncer that was allowing high school students in. If you gave him an extra $20, apparently this bouncer would just let you go right in and have a good time. And me going to a club at the age of what, like 17, I'm not saying no to that. So me and my friends decided to go to a club and meet up with a bunch of girls and have a good time. So I remember all of us over Xbox later that day decided to, say what we need and plan our time to make sure we have everything to go to this club. Obviously, I wanted to go later at the night because that's when the clubs are obviously bumping the most. And by nighttime for me, I mean like nighttime at like high school age is like what, 6 o'clock really? So at 6 o'clock, me and my friends, we got our stuff, we got our bags, and we ended up, bringing an extra $20 to go inside this club to give to the bouncer. So that's what we did. We ended up, going down to the club that was maybe like a 10-minute walk from my place, surprisingly. We stood in this lineup, and when we got up to the bouncer, I remember he looked at us asking for our IDs. We ended up showing our IDs with a $20 bill in front of it, and he ended up just like, picking up the $20 and literally just let us walk through. It was honestly the craziest thing. Like, it felt like it was something straight out of a movie. But then we all ended up going in. We got pat down, obviously, because the guy who was patting us down, like, made sure we didn't bring any weapons or AK-47s or something. I don't know. Apparently, like, people bring weird stuff to clubs. I think the weirdest thing I saw was some guy in the lineup brought like 3 condoms. Yeah, I don't know what he was planning to do in a club, but go him. And we went inside. When we went inside, there was a lot of women. And by women, I mean a lot of women. A lot of them were of age, and a lot of them surprisingly were from our school. Surprising enough too, there's a lot of people from the LGBTQ community sitting at the LGBTQ tables. Apparently they had down at the club, which is interesting. Honestly, very rare to see. Usually I would think, everyone would be like hanging out together, having a good time, but I guess they have like their own separate section, which I mean, fair enough. They have a separate section in our school. I don't see why they don't in the club. I don't know. It's very weird. But then later on, I remember all of us were going to the dance floor, and we were all just hanging out, having a good time. And when we were all on the dance floor having a good time, I remember shots were being handed out to people left and right. And me, obviously being 17, of course I wanted to drink. Like, hell, worst comes to worst, I just walked 10 minutes home being drunk or intoxicated. I don't know if I can still say drunk on YouTube, but hopefully I don't get demonetized. So I ended up drinking there, and me and my friends just started getting rowdy. We started going around, we started being crazy, we started started being ultimately the dumbest people in the party. It got to the point where a lot of my friends just ended up going out and making out with other chicks and having a good time. And me, I was still going hard and going partying hard. And then the craziest thing ended up happening. So I remember seeing a waitress walk up to me and she ended up handing me a shot. And at first I was like, oh, okay, like this is kind of cool. Like, how you doing? You know, just, you know, talking to her and stuff. And after that, she was like, oh, like the drink wasn't from me. It was from that person on the table over there. And I look over at the person and it ended up being a girl. Now, this purely in my mind was a girl, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Now, before anyone says anything, yes, I do know the title of the video, but hear me out when I say this. This wasn't no like James Charles lookalike girl thingy. Like this was purely a girl. I remember walking up to her and she even had the voice of a girl. Everything was a girl. Okay. And I remember me and her were chatting it up. We were having a good time. And then, you know, later on, we ended up, you know, kind of getting close. We ended up, you know, getting closer and closer. And I remember she walked into a corner of the club and we started making out. We were making out, having a really good time. And honestly, we got really close to the point where she was like, do you want to like, I don't know, like maybe like go to the bathroom stall? Now, at first I was like, you know, sure, why not? Like, I don't mind. So we ended up walking to this like bathroom that was there. But the funny part was that we didn't enter the girls' bathroom. We didn't even enter the guys' bathroom. We went to this they-them bathroom. I didn't know what it was. I think it was like considered the all-gender bathroom. Now, before anyone says anything, yes, I do have a story about me doing it in the all-gender bathroom, but you know, that doesn't really lay the case for this storyline. This is a totally different story. And I remember when we went to the all-gender bathroom, I remember seeing my friend right before we entered in there looking at me saying, no, don't go in there. And he put his hand across his neck as if, you know, he's like the symbol of like dead or something. And in my head, I'm thinking, wait, am I gonna die? Like clearly my friend was warning me of something, but I had no idea what, because I was about to, you know, do it with a hot chick. I was about to go literally do the devil's tango. And I thought the coast was clear. Like, I don't know what he was trying to symbolize here. But then I remember as we went to the bathroom, this girl ended up pushing me up against the wall with like super strength out of nowhere. And then she ended up getting close to me. We started making out and then she took off her pants. And when she took off her pants, ladies and gentlemen, she had an antenna. She had a powerful eggplant. And long story short, I was staring directly at oh my God. Honestly, I don't know how to explain it, guys. I really didn't. But when I did see that, guys, I'm not joking when I say this. I haven't panicked so quickly. Because if you guys don't know, I should probably clear this up. I am straight, okay? I am a straight male. That is it. I have an eggplant. I'm straight. I probably should make that clear. But the girl in front of me ended up having an eggplant as well. And honestly, it was just a whole lot of confusion. And I remember when she was coming close to me after she took off her pants, I straight up just kind of like leaned back and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And she looks at me and she's like, what's wrong? And in my head, I was just thinking, how does her voice sound like that? How does she look like a woman, but yet she has an eggplant? Like my head was asking a million questions. And then she looked at me and she's like, oh, I probably should have mentioned. And I'm like, you think? Like, I don't know what to say. Honestly, me thinking about this story in the moment right now and just like remembering it was a lot in my head. But then she kind of like moved back as well. And then we started kind of having a conversation in the bathroom. It kind of went like, so like, I probably should have told you, like, I'm a transgender. I went from being a male to a female. And I looked at her and I'm like, oh, like, that's cool. Like, I didn't really say anything disrespectful at that moment. I was mostly just stuttering. Cause I'm gonna be honest, like, it's not like that I was like totally like against her or saying like anything offensive to her. I was just like, you know, basically apologizing on my part because I didn't know that she was that, like, you know, a transgender. And honestly, it was just really awkward in the moment. It was awkward for both of us. And honestly, like, I kind of just wanted to cut that tension. And I ended up just saying, hey, like, we can just go for a drink back at the bar and we can like hang out. So that's what we did. We ended up going back to the bar. We ended up just, you know, having a good drink and just talking as friends. Because like I said earlier, guys, I'm not like in any way like against the LGBTQ or transgenders or anything really with, you know, being what you want to be. Because we are in the world of 2022. And honestly, back then, yeah, maybe I was 17, but even back then I respected them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support on these videos, like I always say. And on top of that, like I said earlier, join the Discord server, join the Twitch streams. And on top of that, like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.